Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Rose Bouquet, and let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so today I'm going to talk about Trisha Paytas, Ethan Klein, Keemstar, drama channels. I might even throw a few other YouTubers in there, and then the news. Okay, so if you're looking for a podcast that just rehashes all of the things that you already watched, this is not the one. It's so funny because I said that in one of my last podcasts, if anybody ever listens to them. And yeah, I'm not going to be one of those channels that basically takes everything that you've already watched and then just repeats everything that everybody said. I like recaps. It's good. It lets me know I didn't miss anything. You know, that's what some channels do. They just basically take everything that everyone already said and just rehashes it all in a row with clips, all things that you've already seen, YouTube videos, Twitter feeds, things that take you a few minutes, to watch. So, I mean, it is good in that respect that you get to rehash, what's going on. But as far as, is it a real evaluation? Not really. And then the people that do these drama channels, just rehashing what happened doesn't give anybody insight into anything. But really what I wanted to say is, as far as the Ethan, Keemstar, and Trisha drama, is there really drama? Or is this made for YouTube drama? The reason I'm saying that is because I'm a lot older than other people and I've been watching it for a few years now, and this just does not seem like real drama to me. If the biggest drama we have right now on YouTube is the fact that Trisha went on to Keemstar's podcast for 30-minute podcast, then I think we're doing pretty good. We're doing pretty good. I hate to cut it that way and say it that way, but, I'm sorry. It seems that way. I mean, I've watched Trisha's video and I saw Ethan's tweet and, I mean, whatever, it's like, who cares? But, it makes for good YouTube, I guess. I guess it makes for good YouTube videos. I mean, come on. I mean, that's the drama, is that Trisha went on to his podcast. She's not going on H3's podcast. So, I mean, she has to go on someone's podcast and then she's doing her own podcast. So, that's what you do, is you go on each other's podcast. There's only such a small group of people that you can get clicks on now that even make it to a podcast. There's, like Keemstar said, there's no news as far as local YouTube drama news that we can really dive into. I thought it was interesting when I didn't know, I don't ever watch Logan Paul's podcast. Like, I'm not into their podcasts. I'm not interested in their point of views and everything like that. But I did hop over there because I noticed Corinna was on there. And she said she had beef with Tana. So if anybody knows about that beef, that would be really interesting. And let me know down in the comments what that is regarding. I also thought it was very strange that Corinna is, like, intimate with Logan Paul, and I don't know, I just thought that's really strange, but whatever, it is what it is. I just wouldn't have, imagined those two, in any capacity, but that's okay. We're going to move on. What else is going on? Let's see. I believe that Bryce Hall is dating a new girl, so I thought that was interesting. I think they're keeping it on the down low. It doesn't seem like a girl that he normally would date, so I thought, I think her name starts with a K, Kylie something. and she's not from California, so she has to fly there to see him. But that's basically what YouTubers do. You have to collaborate with other YouTubers to get big on YouTube or get your platform, into the millions. Basically, that's what they all do. I mean, that's the name of the game, right? There's just not a lot of it going on right now, but that is how it works. What else is newsworthy? Let's see. So I think that's about all the YouTube drama news we have going on as far as I know. Not much else happening that I know of that I've came across. So we're going to get into Afghanistan and what's going on there. A lot of people, and myself included, I saw the videos about how the Afghan people are, they want to leave. A lot of Afghan people want to leave. But what I didn't know until I started educating myself more and, thinking about it more and doing some more research is that the Taliban is actually originated in Afghanistan. Like, that is where they are from. And that is basically, the Taliban is just Islam extremists. So it's basically just their interpretation of Islam in the extreme way. And I guess before we had come in there to kind of restructure or help them, the women could not do anything. Like, they had to stay home. They couldn't go to school. They couldn't go to work. So, which is scary because a lot of Afghan women are actually widowed because there's so much fighting in that country that, their husbands and fathers and brothers and sons get killed. So a lot of the Afghani women just have like small children and they're like home by themselves. So they have to work, they don't have, I don't believe they have a welfare system in place. They're not as advanced as the United States. They don't have, where if you have kids, they don't have WIC and food stamps and, subsidized housing and things to help single moms with small children. They just don't have those services available there. I mean, I think they do have where you can get food, if you can get to one of the centers and they have something available. I've seen where they do have that, but yeah, it's a scary situation. But I think when you break down exactly what is going on now, a lot of people, obviously, the Islamic, and I'm not a expert, so this is just my interpretation of what I've read and the news. You can, of course, comment below what you feel is happening and why, and your viewpoint. That's fine. So basically, they're Islam extremists, but they are violent and they do rape and they murder and they take small children from their parents, and it's not good. But it's hard to say because I don't know if their army, just because they're saying that the army just wasn't prepared, they weren't trained properly. I mean, we were there for 20 years. So why weren't they trained properly? Why did they not have the proper ammunition? I thought we did give them the proper ammunition and forces. And I'm hearing conflicting stories. One person will say, well, we trained them for 20 years. Why didn't they fight back? And then on the other hand, now they're coming back and saying, well, we didn't give them enough ammunition. They didn't have enough fighting power. There was no way to even outpower the Taliban. So unfortunately, they have taken over Afghanistan, And it's a hard, it's a tough situation. You have to make tough decisions. As a world leader, I think it was right for us to pull out. Did we do it right? I'm sure it could have been done better, right? I'm sure it can be done way better. It seemed like a lot of Afghani people do not want to be there, so I'm confused as to why it was a last minute. And forgive me if I'm wrong. I know the Taliban took over very quickly, but they knew that they were closing in, so I think a lot of people left beforehand, and there was just some that were left at the end, and then they were running at, holding onto the plane, which that was really disgusting. I don't know why that was even allowed. I have no idea what's going on there. It's a scary, scary situation. But now that they're saying that the Taliban is saying that they'll let people go to the airport, they're not going to stop them from leaving, and if they want to leave, they can. So hopefully we got that situation under control, because what I saw was videos of them shooting guns at people, and I guess they decided, they're not going to do that, and, they're going to let the people go. I personally saw a lot of dead bodies are laying around the town. It seems like a very violent takeover, but I think they're homing in on, how are they really going to run things, because you can't run a country that way, right? I mean, you have to have some decency. You can't just go around shooting all your people. I mean, you could, and some do, but that's just not a good way to do it. So I think somebody else has taken charge, and hopefully they're not going around shooting people trying to get to the airport. And it's just a really scary time for them. I do feel bad, because for 20 years they've had, they could always run to the United States and, get help, because, it's a very rough country. The religion is very strict in the way that they do things. And I was just thinking about that here. We do have extreme Christians in America. We do have where there are Christian families and Christian areas that, it would be extreme for some people here. I mean, not as extreme probably as not, shooting and killing everybody, but, like, you can't have sex before marriage, and you don't go on dates on your own. You are escorted, and, you have to wear your clothing a certain way, and your hair, and you can't cut your hair, and your clothes have to be very modest. So, I mean, we do, and the Amish are, kind of extreme in the way they live their life. So, but the only difference between our religion here is that we don't force it on other people. So, we have freedom of choice in America, which they don't. You have to get down and pray 5 times a day. I mean, everybody has to be on the same page with religion there. And, for the most part, it's just really bad for the women. So, a lot of women just aren't going to do fare well, not having any freedom. I think they were getting to where it was getting a little bit more loose on the rules, where women could walk around with at least their faces showing in the main town that had been built up, and they could go to work, and things were going smoothly until all this happened. And I mean, I wouldn't say smoothly as in it's a perfect, because they always have had terrorist attacks there. But I think it was getting to be a little bit more relaxed, and people were, not so scared to go outside and live their life. But now all the women are inside and covered completely, and back to the old way of doing things. So, it's sad, because without having education for both women and men, it's just like, I feel like your country just can't really move forward, because, men are going to be basically always focused on supporting their entire family. Because, like I said, a lot of people die in the wars. So if only the man can go out and work, now if their dad was killed, now they got to take care of their mom, maybe their wife's mom, um, widowed people, um, their wife, their kids. So, for example, let's say there was one man, and he could have to take care of his wife's mom, his own mom. So that's three women, and how many children? And it's just, I don't know. It just seems like such a waste to have to keep women hidden away. I just don't understand, and how that's even productive in any way at all. So in that respect, it's sad. But at the end of the day, Islam is their religion. That is their country, and I can't even fathom why a woman or somebody that wanted to be independent, that did not want to live under that regime, would not have left like last month or started filing to get out of there, when they knew the Americans were going to pull out. Like I said, I know they did not know the Taliban was going to take over that quickly. So, it's just sad. It really is. And there's no U.S. consulate there anymore, so they can't, they don't have anywhere to go. They just have to try to fly out somewhere and hope for the best and try to, just try to make a life somewhere else and get refugee status. And I just feel bad for the people that just don't want to be there, under this regime. It's just really sad. But again, I just couldn't imagine during the 20 years that the United States was there that they wouldn't have at least gotten visas to get out of there if something did happen, or at least filed for visas when it was announced under Trump that they were going to leave, like start that process of getting ready to go. Because the worst part is that well, I wouldn't say the worst part, but it's sad because the United States have been there for 20 years. So there's some people, some women, and all the children, they don't know what the Taliban is. Like, I mean, they know what they are, and they know that they're extremists, but the United States has always been there to squash them out, and I guess put out their fires in a way. So a lot of the young people are just really scared shitless, and it's just a sad situation. If you have any other insights or anything else you'd like to add to this, go ahead in the comments below. And that's this week's podcast. I hope everybody is doing well. And that's it.